Today I'm going to show you guys 5 different types of reverbs to use on vocals and also how to set them up.
True Sound Studios is in your ears.
Okay guys, so here are my 5 reverbs that essentially I use almost on every project. I always set these 5 up. So very simply, we have up top here, track number 1 is the instrumental. I have another track of Adjust the Vocal.
Oh, shit.
Just to make it really, really simple, really easy. So we're just going to affect, obviously, just the vocal track. So these are our tracks over here in our console view. Track 1, once again, is the instrumental. Track 2 is the vocal. So this is our output section. This is our master output. And what I've done is I very simply just right click and then do insert a stereo bus. The first thing we're going to use is the Brie Verb. Now this is Cakewalk's reverb. So right here on our Brie Verb bus, I'm going to click the little plus. I'm going to go to insert audio effect. And I believe this is in VST2. Yep, right here, Brie Verb by Cakewalk. Okay. So with this one, I actually always leave it on this Hall setting. And the first thing I do is I turn down this dry all the way down because we just want all wet signal, meaning we only want reverb. We don't want any more of the original signal coming back in. Now, typically this is the reverb that I use a lot for vocals. So 2 seconds is essentially how long the reverb is going to last for, is a little too long. So we're going to bring this down to about somewhere right around a second. So it's just close enough. Now I actually, for this reverb, I think it's really cool. That just doesn't work on every vocal. It's a little longer. It's a little spacey, like I guess you might call it. So what I'm going to do though is we're going to close this. So that's really, for the most part, all the things I'm going to do in this plugin. So over here on our vocal track right here, I'm going to right click under the sends. Okay. And we are going to add the Brie Verb right here. So now what I'm doing is this vocal is coming to the send and it's sending signal over to our Brie Verb, and then it's going to add reverb to this vocal. So you can engage it and disengage it right here on that little like almost power button. So let's listen to the vocal dry.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady.
Okay, so now we're going to add the Brie Verb. This is full.
Please don't start to call me baby.
And then obviously we can send less reverb by simply turning this send down and just reducing the amount of volume.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady.
So this track's actually my track, Weezna, and the song's called Party Naked. I'll put a link in the description of this video. So I like this reverb, but it's a little bright. So if we just solo just the reverb, you can hear that the S's in there. So what I'm going to do is what I typically do is I'm just going to add some sort of EQ. It doesn't matter what EQ. I just like using this. I use it all the time. It's just the Waves EQ. And I'm going to roll off the high end. I'm going to get rid of all the brightness. Now, for a vocal like this, probably somewhere around this 4K range, maybe 3.5. So now listen to it. And then without it, without the EQ. See how bright that reverb is? And then I'll engage that EQ again. To me, that makes a reverb sound better. I do not like bright reverbs. I think they cause too many problems in mixing. So if we listen to this and kind of balance this out, we'll add a little bit more reverb.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady. Oh.
So it's cool. It adds some really nice ambience to this track. What I kind of feel like this vocal really needs is something. Now we're going to go ahead and create reverb number 2. And this is what I like to call the big verb, like the super hall sound. Like you know that you are in like some huge room. So to delete this send, I'm going to simply click under here and I just go down to delete send. So now our vocal track is not sending any reverb to anything. So over here on our big verb, I'm going to click the little add box and we're going to go to audio effects. And actually this time we're going to go to DirectX. And this is Sonitus, I believe is how you pronounce it. And we're going to go to the reverb. Okay, first for this one, once again, we are going to take the dry all the way down because we don't want any more of the original signal. For this one, I actually turned down the early reflection. ER stands for early reflection. It's kind of like a really quick room noise, I guess you might call it. And this one, I like to take the width and turn it up full. And then this one, we can actually adjust some of that EQ. So I'm going to turn it down to maybe somewhere around here. So I just want to get rid of some of that high end. I just don't like high end on reverbs. I don't think it's helpful. So for the most part, that is all I'm going to do for this one, except our decay time. What is going to make this really sound like it's in a huge room is we're going to turn this up to like 3 seconds-ish. So now we have that reverb set up. And what I'm going to do is come over here. I'm going to right click on this and we're going to click on our big verb so that we are now sending signal from our vocal track over to our big verb. So if I solo this is just a reverb. So mixed into the track, let's take a listen to what this sounds like. I'll unsolo this. I'm going to pull back to this reverb a little bit.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady. Oh, shit happens when you party naked. You got me on some type of crazy. Don't think that you could come and chase me. Yeah.
So this big verb I like to use for things when I'm making, like trying to make an effect. You know, maybe I am, have a background vocal that I want to be kind of like, really, I don't want you to hear too much, but it's going to be there. So I like to use it. This is more like, I guess you would call it my effects reverb, because to me, it's so long, it's so huge that it's just a little too much. Okay, so once again, I'm going to delete this send. And we're going to come over to the next one. Now, we talked about early reflection, ER. Okay, so once again, I'm going to use actually the same reverb. I'm going to go to DirectX, Sonitus, and Reverb. So this time, once again, take the dry, put it all the way back down. This time we're going to take the reverb and turn it all the way down. And we're going to keep the ER, the early reflection, up. Now this one, we actually might want it to be a little brighter. I like it to be a little brighter because, once again, I'm using this a little bit more as an effect. And sometimes to add a little bit of room sound, a smaller room often has some more brightness. And in this case, the early reflection is a little bit more useful when it's brighter. So once again, take the send. We're going to come over to our ER. So we're sending signal now to the ER, the early reflection. So let's solo this.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady.
Take it off. So once again, the dry vocal.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady. Oh, shit happens when you party naked. You got me on some type of crazy.
So as you can see,
please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady.
It's adding some, like, I don't know a better way to describe it than it just sounds like you're in a room now. So I record all my vocals in a very, very dry room. And what this does is it allows you to add back some of that room, but you can control it. So really for this reverb, you can mess around. You can, kill some of the highs. You can take some of the lows out. You can mess around with the room size. But for the most part, this is really fun. I really like this reverb, especially adding that early reflection. It ends up on a ton of my instruments, as well as for vocals when you're trying to create a different vibe, a different vocal sound, without actually adding like reverb. So once again, just delete this send. And now we're going to go about our slapback. So this is kind of like a hybrid between like a reverb and a delay. So this one, we're going to go to effects, insert effects, VST2, and this is actually in the Nomad Factory and the BlueVerb. Now I have a preset. It's called Yvette Verb. It's just for a female that I often record, Yvette. She kind of, I don't know, this is the sound we used for her vocal, and I just really liked it. So as you can see, you know, to go ahead and copy these settings down if you like them. For this one though, I am going to take this and I'm going to add that EQ back to this because this plugin is very bright. I really like the sound of this, but it's just way too bright for me. So pull it down to roughly 4K there. And once again, come over to our vocal track and we're going to send this to the slapback. So let's take a listen to what our slapback sounds like.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady.
So you can hear it. It almost has like a pulsing effect kind of sound to it. It's slapbacking left and right. It's almost making like a stereo delay reverb, like a short reverb with a delay on here. And as you can see, I got the stereo width turned up to full.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady.
So let's take a listen to what this sounds like in the track.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady.
So I like it. I mean, I hate to use this word, but it almost gives you that like indie sounding vocal a little bit. It's just really fun to use, and I feel like it does work in a lot of situations. Take a look at those settings and, you know, just screenshot that and you can use that setting for your own. But this is a great, I really love this vocal reverb sound. So I'm going to just kill this, delete send, and the last one is going to be the Waves Rverb. So, whoops, come down here, reverb, and it's the Rverb, and we're always going to use stereo. You can use mono reverb. Me personally, I just think I have a little bit more control if it is in stereo. So I can take this, once again, the early reflection, take that all the way down. This is another one of those EQs. Now you can pull this back. I feel like this doesn't do enough for me, but we are going to pull this down to somewhere once again around that 1 second mark. But this time we're going to change things up a little bit and we're going to turn the pre-delay up to about right around there, about 20. And this is actually going to let us 20 milliseconds of time from when the vocal starts to when the reverb comes in. So it's actually going to be a little bit delayed, the reverb. So once again, I'm going to come over here. We're going to add our Waves Reverb to here, to our vocal. Come over here, and I'm just going to copy this EQ over to here. This is just the one I just scoop out like that, roughly 4K again. So let's take a listen to this.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady. Oh.
And as we increase the pre-delay, we'll move it up a little bit more drastically.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady.
As you notice, it's almost creating that kind of like what we had right before this, that slapback sound, where it's coming in a little bit later. And this just helps get the main vocal through the mix, and then the reverb comes in afterwards, so it doesn't necessarily cloud up or muddy up your mix. Now it's a little bit much reverb for this, but let's take a listen.
Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady. Please don't start to call me baby. You're not my kind of type of lady.
So that is my 5 reverbs. Now, obviously, you can come over to the send and you can add, you know, the early reflection in there, maybe some Brie verb, and you can blend these all in and kind of give your own creation of, you know, multiple different effects. But once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. So once again, these are my 5 reverbs that I use on vocals almost on every single session. So I hope this helps you out, and I hope you guys can get some better reverb sounds on your vocals. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to stay up to date with TrueSound Studios on a day-to-day basis, follow us on our Instagram page. I post on Instagram every single day, and I'll keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on with the studio. If you're new to our YouTube channel and you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more content. You can also listen to or purchase any of the beats that I personally make right here at TrueSound Studios on our SoundCloud page, TrueSound on the Beat. You can find all the links in the description below this video. So once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm Ryan Weezna. We're here at my studio, TrueSound Studios, and TrueSound Studios is in your ears.